Levi Colwill is one of the biggest beneficiaries of Mauricio Pochettino's arrival at Chelsea. He was loaned out last season, but since Pochettino arrived, he has plunged into the first team, playing mainly at left-back, but rarely out of the squad. It's not easy to learn a new position quickly, and it was interesting to read his interview on the Chelsea website discussing his season so far and his relationship with his manager. Colwill said, "I have come out of my shell more this season. Last season I was much more reserved, but this season, with a group of players who are almost the same age and a lot of new players coming up, I try to help everyone as much as I can and embrace them. I think people have seen it in the dressing room. I'm here to help, and whatever knowledge I can impart, I will. There are several leaders in the dressing room, and we have to help where we can. I play in a different position. Everyone knows I'm a centre-back, but I try to help the team and learn as much as I can to help me in the future." With Mark Cucurella out for the time being, and Ben Chilwell still not fit, Colwill's starting position at left-back is secured. Chelsea could reportedly sign Roma striker Paulo Dybala for just £11 million this transfer window. Paulo Dybala was linked with a move to Chelsea over the summer. He could be bought again in the winter, as the striker has an £11M release clause currently active, according to reports in Italy. Dybala has 4 goals and 6 assists in all competitions, and he is flexible enough to operate as a centre-forward as well as a winger. Apart from his goal-scoring ability, he is an elite creator who can make a big difference in the final third of the pitch. Roma boss Jose Mourinho didn't appear too worried about the possibility of losing his star striker when asked about the speculation on Saturday, saying, "I don't know anything about his contract, but obviously I spoke with Paulo as I do with all my players." Will Chelsea get Dybala? Rumours will continue to circulate in the media over the next few weeks. But Chelsea are confident Dybala will not move. He is very happy in Italian football. So, unless he receives a crazy offer. Chelsea are eyeing a move to sign a sensational star in January. According to The Sun, Chelsea are preparing to sign Girona striker Artem Dovik, who could be sold for around £39 million. If the Blues manage to create space for the striker through the departure of Armando Broja, then they could have a potential solution to their goal-scoring problem, with Pochettino impressed by the striker's 6ft2 in physical profile. Dovik, of course, is part of the Girona side, seeking a shock La Liga title win, and is playing more than a crucial role in the title race. However, with Chelsea reportedly interested, it remains to be seen whether he will stay. The Blues may be encouraged by the fact that Dovik's agent is the same as Mykhailo Mudrik's, making any deal potentially easier. When compared, Dovik's stats are in stark contrast to Jackson's this season, who has struggled to make an impact at times. The Girona star has scored a total of 12 goals and 6 assists in all competitions. Jackson, meanwhile, has scored 8 goals and provided 2 assists in all competitions. At 26 years old, the La Liga forward may be in his prime. Perhaps the time is right for Chelsea to make a move. Journalists urge Chelsea not to sell Gallagher to Tottenham. It has been widely reported by a number of media outlets over the past few weeks that Gallagher will be allowed to leave Stamford Bridge for a reasonable fee next month. The latest comes from The Athletic, who revealed a few days ago that the Blues need to raise funds to continue their transfer moves in January, claiming that a bid of around £40M would be enough to see the England international leave from his childhood club. Just like many other media outlets, the publication reports that Tottenham are monitoring the midfielder situation with particular attention. According to Fabrizio Romano's latest update earlier this week, it was Ange Postecoglou who encouraged Spurs' interest in Gallagher, and the Australian is said to be a fan of the 23-year-old. Matterface is surprised that the West London club's top brass are open to selling Gallagher despite Pochettino's high regard for him. The journalist told TalkSport, "It's ridiculous to think that this is a player that Pochettino thinks is so important to the team, because as soon as rumours started circulating in the August transfer window, he made him captain in the absence of Reece James. He always wears the captain's armband. Obviously he wants him to stay, and it's clear he considers him important. So why are the owners now trying or preparing to sanction the sale? Pochettino wants him to stay, so why would you sell him? Borussia Dortmund are reportedly in talks with Chelsea over a deal for Ian Maatsen. According to Voetbal International, Dortmund are in discussions with the Blues to sign the left-back permanently or on loan. Maatsen had the opportunity to leave Stamford Bridge in the summer but chose to stay. At the end of the last transfer window, the Evening Standard reported that Burnley had agreed to sign the 21-year-old on loan with a buyout obligation of £31.5 million. However, it looks like he could still leave Mauricio Pochettino's team. Maatsen could be a good signing for Dortmund. The Netherlands U21 international is a versatile player, and getting him doesn't seem like the most expensive operation, especially if they can get him on loan. Maatsen is not a bad footballer, but he seems to have been at Chelsea at the wrong time. Apart from Dortmund, Maatsen has also been linked with a move to Ajax. He started in the Blues' 2-1 win against Crystal Palace earlier this week, but at the moment it would be a bit of a surprise if he stayed at Stamford Bridge beyond January. The transfer seems like the best thing for everyone. Chelsea's top priorities for the January transfer window. Ahead of the start of the January transfer window, Sportsmole takes a look at what Chelsea's priorities are in their bid to climb the Premier League table. Here, Sportsmole looks at how Chelsea should set their priorities ahead of the January transfer window opening for business on New Year's Day. 1. Add tall players. By Premier League standards, Chelsea is a small team. Their two tallest outfield players, Benoit Badiashile and Armando Broja, have each made just 5 Premier League starts, and this puts the burden on Axel Disasi and Levi Colwill to win as many heading duels as possible when defending set pieces. Thiago Silva offers experience and class, but lacks an imposing presence, and Nicholas Jackson wins less than 1 aerial duel per game. Combine that with a midfield whose single best player is 19-year-old Leslie Ugochukwu, who has made 3 starts, and it's easy to see why teams want their chances of beating Chelsea through corners and free kicks. 2. Sign a new fullback. History tells you that if you have Reece James and Ben Chilwell as your first choice fullbacks, you need backups. This has been proven this season with James appearing 8 times in the Premier League and Chilwell only appearing 6 times. Chelsea have Colwill at left back, a necessary change from centre back to add quality to the team. But with Marc Cucurella out until March at the earliest and Ian Maatsen out of consideration, Pochettino has become more reliant on Malo Gusto and Axel Disasi. Both have their qualities and shortcomings, but getting a versatile fullback again with height to replace Trevoh Chalobah and Maatsen would be an ideal option at a time when the squad needs to be trimmed. 3. Sign the new centre forward. All things considered, any talk of signing Victor Osimhen from Napoli in January feels like fantasy, but there are other players on the market. Chelsea could do worse than try to tempt former youngster Dominic Solanke back to Stamford Bridge after his 12 goals for Bournemouth this season. 4. Discover new loan movements for many players. Of the 7 players currently abroad, Kepa Arrizabalaga and Romelu Lukaku will continue their duties with Real Madrid and Roma respectively, and Chelsea are not looking to move Angelo Gabriel from Strasbourg, where the 19-year-old has made 7 appearances as starter and 9 appearances as a substitute. David Datro Fofana will probably stay at Union Berlin now, as he has scored 2 goals in his last 5 games, leaving Chelsea to either recall Gabriel Slonina from Eupen, where he started every game but conceded 41 goals in 18 appearances, or bring back Diego Moreira when he finally found his feet at Lyon.